30,000 HP, permanent swiftness, permanent quickness, loads of healing power, with enough condition and power damage to tackle any sorts of enemy, all of this power could be yours if you choose to embrace Malix and walk the path of the Revenant. As you can see, this new open world Herald build can literally do everything, including, but not limited to, power damage, condition damage, healing, permanent quickness, range damage, burn swiftness, AoE boon share, your laundry, your taxes, and much, much more. Gear we run for this is full Celestial with superior rune of the Revenant for more stats and max HP. For our weapon, we take a Celestial Shortbow with cleansing and energy. The secondary set can be pretty much anything, as I rarely swap off Shortbow, but I find that Mace and Axe works really well for more damage and CC. Relic of Akeem will also help to generate even more Condi damage for us. Other traits, I take Retribution, Corruption, and Herald. With these traits, I'm able to have quite a few sources for healing, such as Steadfast Rejuvenation for whenever I use an upkeep skill. Other sources include Fiendish Tenacity, which heals me whenever I have resistance. Pairing this with Demonic Defiance, since we are running Demon Stance for consistent applications of this. Because we're a Herald, regeneration will also be applied to us at all times, and gaining boons will also provide healing. By using our consume skills in Dragon Stance, we also get healed. Basically, the whole name of the game is to apply boons to ourselves with Dragon Stance by using upkeep skills, reaping the benefits from having both upkeep skills and boons. Once energy gets low, consume your facets and swap over to Malix Stance in order to activate your elite skill. The elite skill will heal us while pulsing out damage and providing quickness. You'll always want to use crowd control on break bars in the open world, so having that elite skill in Dragon Stance and Shortbow 5 work wonders. Not to mention, Akeem Relic is also procced whenever you CC an enemy with 5 or more stacks of Torment on them. This grants additional AoE damage on top of your other AoE abilities like Shortbow 4. And that's essentially it. This build's able to hold its own thanks to its high health pool and lucrative amounts of healing thanks to not only the stats, but the many traits as well. The damage is pretty good because we're able to run a hybrid of both power and Condi damage thanks to our Shortbow. This build is also very flexible in the sense that it can act as a healer / support in the open world by granting quickness, protection, and regen to allies while also healing them. Whenever we swap over to Malix Stance, we're able to gain 8.5 seconds of resistance, which allows us to pulse healing to ourselves for 8.5 seconds, which means we're able to pulse healing to ourselves for 8 ticks. This means that we are getting 445 HP per tick, and that goes off 8 times, which in total equates to 3,500 HP. That is quite a bit for this build, and not to mention we will also be pulsing from Steadfast Rejuvenation, which will heal us for 73 health per point of upkeep. So we'll have 6 points of upkeep in total going off whenever we do swap, which adds up to an extra 438 health every second. So in total, we're healing for about 4,000 HP whenever we swap over to Malix Stance for just simply putting the elite skill on. Not to mention gaining quickness and other boons as well, which is just amazing seeing as how this is pretty much low effort and also grants us damage. So not only will we be healing for 4,000 HP, we'll also be dealing a consistent amount of torment damage that can be procced off the Relic of Akeem by CCing our opponents. If you were to have regen as well going into Malix Stance, we'd be healing for an extra 1,500 HP. That's 5,500 pretty passively, which is just insane. Also, it is worth mentioning that demonic resistance will reduce the strike damage we take by 20% if we have resistance on us. So while we are healing in Demon Stance, we'll also be taking 20% reduced damage. And while we're in Dragon Stance, we actually heal for a lot more as well, because we are getting those boons. So Elevated Compassion is going off and giving us about 220 HP per unique boon that we get on an interval of 1 second. So we'll be healing just constantly in Dragon Stance with regen and Elevated Compassion at all times. And while we are healing from granting ourselves boons, Steadfast Rejuvenation is also going off as well. So once again, we are healing for an insane amount in not just Dragon Stance, but also Malix Stance. So you're just healing a ton on this build. You're healing in both stances no matter what. Whenever you swap, you're healing. We have increased endurance regen from Retribution as well. So we'll be dodging a lot. When it comes to sustained damage, you'll pretty much be able to tank anything at any time. So it's going to be pretty hard to die in the open world, especially if you're running around, because we do get increased movement speed from not just swiftness, but also from Rising Momentum, which gives us 5% speed for every tick of upkeep that we do have. Honestly, this build has a lot going on, but most of it happens pretty passively, so if you don't want to worry about all the ins and outs and how it works, then you don't have to. You just have to play the build how you normally would, and all these bonuses will happen in the background. If all of this sounds great to you, then stop waiting around, throw on those Celestial pieces and get going. We got Ectos to farm here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.